What's going on, Jello family? In today's video, I'm going to teach you how to be more charismatic. For me, a lot of my charisma training has just come from school, as well as my time in corporate America, working at Google, working at Meta, Airbnb. I've learned a lot about charisma because I've been around such great people who are extremely charismatic. And I took a lot of what I learned from them into my charisma, into the way I basically articulate, talk to people, and command the room. For me, I recently just had one of the most charismatic speakers I've ever met in my life. He was a director at Netflix. He was responsible for the Jake Paul and Mike Tyson fight that's soon to come on Netflix, as well as he's the one who has brought ads to Netflix. Also, I think he was a business partner for Tom Brady's agent, so pretty cool. And I learned so much from him, just the way he commanded a room, right? The way he commanded a room, I'm going to start this whole kind of podcast off with a story of how he commanded a room. What he would do was, anytime the class had a question about Netflix, had a question about a certain program, he would be extremely engaged. Rather than just standing in front of the classroom, and UCLA Anderson is a very beautiful business school, right? Imagine a great classroom auditorium. You can walk up the stairs to go see the people in the crowd, and it's just very gorgeous. So what he would do is, anytime when anyone would answer a question, he would come up to them, look at them in the eye, repeat your name, and then ask you, what are your thoughts on the question, right? This, for one, allowed the class to be more engaged and excited to ask questions. I kid you not. The class full like 60, 70 people at a time. I've never seen so many hands raised, excited to ask him questions about Netflix, excited to ask him about questions about his career. And the reason people were so excited to ask about him was not only was the work he did really cool, but he was extremely charismatic. And there's not a doubt in my mind, if he did some boring work, like, I don't know, just say like, just boring work that wasn't interesting, his charisma would have still made us excited to ask a question. It could have been about paint drying, right? So let me just kind of go into the story. So he was just really talking about the Jake Paul, Mike Tyson fight and how they're coming to Netflix and how it's going to impact Netflix as a tech company, how they can generate more revenue for it, right? So that was my question, actually. I had my hand raised. I was like, hey, my name's Angelo. I have a question about this fight. Jake Paul, Mike Tyson. Are they going to the Netflix platform because you're hoping to generate more revenue from their subscribers, their viewer, from their followings? And he told me, well, why don't you think about this, Angelo? What are your thoughts? And I said, hey, Jake and Mike Tyson have a couple million followers on Instagram, on YouTube. I think this may be a money play for Netflix to have more people come on the platform to watch them, right? I think it'll generate more revenue. I think it's great for Netflix to pivot to live sports. If you want to call this event a live sport, I think it's a live sports boxing. And he said, yes, that is a great observation. However, I want you to think more, right? So essentially, he had us answer our own question, and then he provided advice and kind of knowledge on answers to the question, right? And he was just so charismatic because he would put the question back on us. He would never stay in one spot at once. He would walk all around the classroom. He would call everyone by name, smile at us, and then always made the conversation about us and not him, while also answering the question. And I was like, I really like this guy. His charisma, his confidence, his ability to command the room has got me engaged. And I have a classroom full of 70 MBAs, very smart people, very successful in their own career. And I've never seen them so engaged. They've had plenty of guest speakers who've come on board who've done great things, like help build a lot of the big Hollywood companies here in Los Angeles. But this man who did great work was just so charismatic, and we were just all so excited to talk and to learn from him, right? So that was one story I kind of learned at UCLA. At UCLA, being around MBAs, a lot of them are very charismatic. I have a lot of type A personalities because a lot of these people want to be business leaders. So a lot of what they did was, being very charismatic, talking about their opinion, showing what they want, and being very kind of strong and, as people would say, standing on business, right? So I learned so much from my classmates at UCLA about how to be charismatic, right? And the one process I'll give you that I learned at UCLA was the first thing you need to do whenever you enter a room is you need to acknowledge everyone in the room, right? Granted, if it's like 500 people, you're not going to stand at 500 people, but that immediate circle you're in, or if it's like, say, 20 people, 30 people, the first thing you want to do is you want to introduce yourself to them, right? And the way you do that is you basically say, hi, hey, how's it going? My name is Angelo. Great meeting you. You shake their hand, look them in the eyes and ask them what their name is, and then you repeat it. The reason being that you ask what their name is because one is you want to get to know them as a person. Two, hearing their name is one of the most beautiful things you can hear, right? So every time I hear the name Angelo, I get excited, I get happy. You're probably the same. Every time you hear your name, you get excited, you get happy. So what you want to do is anytime you meet someone new, you shake their hand and say, Jeff, Steve, Alice, Sarah, it's great to meet you. And when you do that, you are more likely to remember their name. And by remembering their name, it develops rapport. It allows you to kind of approach the situation with confidence because you're more inclined to remember their name and you're more likely to just feel more personable with them and be on a more personal level. So that's the first thing you do. You always shake their hand, say their name, and spot, right? And a little trick I remember to kind of remember his name is I try and find a distinct feature about them, right? So say I meet someone named Larry. Larry has a great mustache. I associate that mustache with Larry. So I remember, okay, Larry's the guy with the mustache. Got it, right? That's one thing you always want to do is you always want to establish rapport by remembering someone's name. Next step is you want to get into conversation with that person. In order to get into conversation about that person, it's pretty easy. You just want to ask questions about themselves, right? Ask them, where are you from? What type of work do you do? How do you spend your weekends? What hobbies do you have, right? The whole point of this is to get that person talking about themselves. And when someone talks about themselves, they tend to like you more because you basically pin the conversation on them. And people love talking about themselves. Love talking about themselves. I learned this at Google. I learned this at UCLA. At Google, anytime I had to meet with a new stakeholder, I always asked them about themselves. Because I knew if I get them talking about themselves, they're more likely to see me more fondly, like me as a person, and will be more able to just develop rapport and execute on a project. So if I were ever asking you for anything that I need to submit, complete a project, you're more likely to work with me because you like me, right? So the point of the conversation is to get them talking. And once you get them talking, you just want to kind of poke and prod on whatever they bring up. So say they say, I love watching sports on the weekend. You'd be like, what kind of sports do you like watching? I love basketball. Oh, cool. Who's your favorite team? I love the Lakers. Wow, you love the Lakers? So you like LeBron and Anthony Davis? Yeah, I love LeBron and Anthony Davis. That's super cool. What do you think about the coach? Do you think we're getting a new coach next year? Yeah, I hope we get a new coach. So, you like the Lakers. Are you from Los Angeles? No way. I didn't know you were from Irvine. I'm from Orange County. That's pretty cool. So, the whole point of asking questions is to learn more about the person. And then when you find out more about the person, start thinking about things that kind of relate or may may relate to whatever they're talking about, right? So same thing, say like, what's your favorite food? You like sushi? No way. I love sushi. Have you ever been to Benihana? Yeah, I love Benihana. My favorite meal at Benihana is chicken teriyaki. No way, chicken teriyaki? That's amazing, right? It's just extremely simple, right? Because usually, even in corporate America, even in business school, when you meet someone for the first time, you need to establish rapport, and you should not go into business immediately, right? That was one of the biggest mistakes I would make at Google, was that my boss, whenever I had a one-on-one with her, I would always go straight into business, right? Because that's what I was taught at UCLA. That's what I was taught like most of my career. Go straight into business. Worst mistake ever. Establish rapport before you start the meeting, before you start an interaction. Ask them about themselves. Ask them about their family, their hobbies, whatever it may be. So that way you have rapport and you establish that this person on the other side of me is another human being. If this human being is exactly like me, I like talking about myself, they probably like talking about themselves, right? So that is one thing you need to do. You need to establish rapport. This is extremely important in business. It's extremely important in corporate America because at the end of the day, you work harder. You're more likely to help people that you care about, that you get along with. So by having this charisma of developing rapport, you're more likely to get more stuff done. Trust me. I saw this all across Meta. I saw this all across Google. I saw this all across Airbnb. The people who won this so-called charisma, or more so had more people like them, they're able to establish and execute on projects, right? One of the best combinations is someone who's extremely charismatic, extremely trustworthy, and can get stuff done. That person will go extremely far in life, whether it be their career, their life, their goals, whatever it may be, right? So make sure you establish rapport, and by establishing rapport, you're honestly helping out and developing more charisma. You're becoming more and more charismatic, right? So we establish, say hi to someone, shake their hand, look them in the eye. Next, have them talk about themselves, because the more they talk about themselves, the more they like you, the more you're able to learn about them, and you become a sponge to their knowledge. When you're talking to someone, this is the third thing. Make sure you look them in the eyes, not some creepy way like staring at them, but look them in the eyes, kind of like smile, like a nice gaze, and then nod your head. Nod your head, smile, say yes, and from time to time, you need to repeat what they're saying, because this shows that you're paying attention, right? And the more that you're paying attention to whatever they're saying, the more they will like you. So many times at Google, I work with some of the smartest people in the world, most talented engineering minds, most talented business minds, most talented product minds, most talented recruiting minds. And a lot of them were so highly technical and analytical that they struggle with the charisma part. And I always thought to myself, imagine if someone was extremely technical and charismatic, analytical and charismatic. That person will become the CEO. That person will achieve whatever they want to achieve in this life because they've honestly tackled two extremely hard skills. If you can get your sliders, or what we call like your skills, to 80% analytical, technical, 80% charismatic, you will be one of the most dangerous and hardworking, best entrepreneurs, employees, whatever you want to become, right? So Whenever you're interacting and talking to someone, look them in the eyes, smile, nod your head up and down and say, all right, that's awesome. That's great. I love that. I love how you're trying to push the product to this new kind of approval process. I love how you go to concerts on the weekend to watch your favorite artist. I love that new song that you just mentioned, right? You kind of just have to look them in the eyes, smile, nod your head. This shows that you're paying attention. This shows that you care. And by doing this, you're more likely to push the conversation forward and to have them like you more, establish rapport, and show charisma. Okay. Another thing too is a lot of times when you're in conversation with people, you're either sitting down or you're standing up. You need to show charismatic body language. What does that mean? Charismatic body language means standing up straight in a power position, smiling. You gotta put your hands to your side, stand up straight. It conveys confidence. It conveys positive body language. Open yourself up as well. You don't want your arms crossed. This is a very defensive position whenever you're talking to someone, right? When you have your arms crossed, it shows that you're afraid someone might hurt you. You're not open. You're not showing that you have a caring personality. You're kind of showing this defensive move, right? I always have my arms open like this in a power position, have my hands on my hips to convey confidence and power. And whenever I do this, I feel a lot more present, a lot more excited to talk to someone, and it shows them, hey, my body is open. You can trust me. You can talk to me. You can convey whatever message you want to convey. Okay? So that's one big thing you need to do. Show very positive body language. Another thing I like to do too is if I get along with the person, I'll tap him in the back, say, hey buddy, that was great. I love that conversation, right? This shows that, hey, there is like a sense of like, this person is not afraid to show me affection, show me love, show me happiness, show me kind of a more positive vibe throughout the conversation, right? So that's one of the things I love to do. Just body language is extremely important, right? You can have all the charisma with the way you talk, the way you speak, the way you look at someone, but if your body language is not on point, it's not going to work out. So combine those three things: eye contact, listening, body language. And when you do that, you're very, 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 very likely to be seen as a charismatic human being, as a charismatic person, okay? So that's what you do when you come into a room, when you start talking to people. One thing too is that you need to realize throughout the conversation is you need to be a great storyteller, right? There will be a point in this conversation where you will need to tell your own story. And the way you tell stories is being very descriptive. Exaggerate some points, but not to the point where it just doesn't sound believable, but be very descriptive in the way you talk, in the way you explain yourself, right? So earlier in my Netflix story, I talked about how my speaker was walking up and down the stairs, asking questions to each student, talking about how I've never seen anyone in the class of 60, 70 people in this beautiful UCLA auditorium. I've never seen them so engaged with a certain topic at hand, right? That's how I portrayed my story. That's how I did storytelling. Use your hands, articulate, show emotion in your face. When you show your hands, show emotion in your face, people are more likely to feel like, oh man, I was actually there with him. I was there during this whole kind of ordeal that was going on, and they feel like they're actually in a movie. The way I like to do is, I like to imagine is that I'm telling a story, and this story is the greatest novel, the greatest movie ever been produced, and it's going to come out through my words, my actions, through my storytelling, right? You are a Hollywood producer. You are the greatest storyteller in the world. Tell that to yourself. And then practice telling amazing stories about your life. Because at the end of the day, people also love to listen. And if you have that power, that superpower of storytelling, man, people will be captivated and they will see charisma. Also, when you tell these stories, talk with confidence. One of the coolest things I've ever learned was I had a classmate. Her name was Michelle, and she was on my podcast, the Angela Carlos podcast. She was a biotech researcher, marketer. She was in marketing, right? And we were in groups throughout business school. She was probably one of the most confident people ever worked with on a project, because the way she would articulate things made me believe in her. I kid you not. Like, she could be dead wrong, but because she articulated things in such a confident way, I believed everything she said. Even if the project was wrong, even if the problem was wrong, I just believed everything because she was so charismatic. So charismatic. And I hope I'm conveying this message to you guys as well in a very charismatic kind of tonality, in a confident tonality, that if you convey your message with confidence, people will believe you. And if you are wrong, just apologize, move on, and adjust, right? But when you tell these stories to a crowd, when you portray your charisma, show it with confidence. I repeat myself one more time. Show it with confidence. Talk with confidence. Like right now, as I'm looking into the camera, I'm portraying confidence and charisma. The reason this is so important is because if you are to lead a company, if you are to lead a team with your vision, you need to be confident. At Google, one of my managers was so confident. He believed that we were going to execute on a project. And even if we were to fail, I would still ride with him. I would still go the extra mile with him because he was so confident that we were going to do things. And if we were wrong, we were going to find out why we were wrong, fix it, execute, do better. That is a great leader. The reason you need to be charismatic is because in order for you to be a great leader, people need to believe in your vision. They need to believe in your journey. They need to believe that what we are going through is worth it because you are our leader and we believe it, right? And this charisma is not born overnight. It's all through hard work. It's all through eliminating the beliefs that you can't do something, right? It's all through doing all this hard work. A lot of my charisma has come from showing myself that I can achieve anything I set my mind to. It has come from getting a job at Google, where 0.01% of people get a job at. It has come from getting accepted into UCLA. It has come from becoming a top 1% earner. It has come from building Angela Carlos Talks, from building Angela Carlos Podcast, from being able to share everything I've learned with the world, because I truly believe that what I'm teaching you guys will help you become the best version of yourself and help you become a leader in this world to make this world a better place, okay? So whenever you talk, I need you to talk with confidence. Talk with the faith, knowing what you're saying is true. And if you're wrong, be brave enough to admit that you're wrong, apologizing, and changing course to make sure you do things the right way, okay? Those are really important things you need to do in order to talk and become charismatic. Okay, last but not least, I'm going to go over how to leave conversations and how to leave the room after having your charismatic conversation, okay? So, Exiting gracefully is probably one of the more important and fun skills you can develop whenever you have a conversation with someone, right? Whenever I leave a conversation, I always say, thank you, person's name. Let's say, thank you, Jeff. I love this conversation about whatever we talked about. Let's just say food. I love talking about food with you. We gotta chat it up sometime again in the future. I'm gonna head out right now, but I really loved our conversation and would love to talk to you again in the future. And by doing this, you exit the conversation gracefully rather than leaving abruptly, right? You want the person to feel as if this conversation progressed our friendship, it progressed our relationship, and I hope to one day work with you, do business with you, or just become better friends in the future, right? Exiting gracefully is key. So whenever you exit gracefully, shake their hand, say thank you, their name, smile, repeat what I just told you earlier about that whole kind of say thank you, repeat what you learned from them, and then leave, right? Go wherever you need to go. You need to exit gracefully in every conversation. At Google, whenever I would end a meeting, I would say, Jake, Lisa, this was great. Thank you so much. Here are the action items I learned. We're going to need to reach out to the finance team, the legal team. I'll go ahead and do that. And I'll keep you updated through email, through ping, so that way you're aware of where I am. Also look at my project management software. I'll keep that updated as well, just in case you have any questions. But hey, let's keep in touch. This was extremely productive. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. I'll catch you guys later. Bye. That is how you leave gracefully. That is how you close the loop in a form of communication. So that way you are able to let the person know that I listened this whole time we were together. You had my full attention. And any action items we may have had, any kind of information that we need to transcribe or do later on, I've got it, okay? And I appreciate you. Similar to networking at UCLA, anytime I talk to someone at a networking event, I say, hey, Larry, this was fun. Thank you so much. I learned so much from you. Let's definitely keep in touch. I'm going to go grab a drink. I'm going to go grab some food. I'm going to talk to some more other people, kind of get to know the room a little bit more. But hey, I had an amazing time. Let's keep in touch. Shake their hand, smile, and then walk away. That is how you exit gracefully. It takes time. It takes time to do this, right? It's not easy. But the more you do it, the more you're able to get better. As with anything we have in life, the more you practice, better you become. Practice makes perfect. It's so true, right? So whatever you're trying to do, whatever rapport you're trying to establish, whoever you're trying to talk to, get close with, use these techniques. This will help you develop charisma in business, in life, with friends, with family. You want to be that guy, you want to be that girl who people look up to and say, gosh darn it, that person is confident, that person is charismatic, I believe in them. When you do that, when you have charisma, when you have hard work, you can become this amazing leader that people look up to, and you can change the world. So I hope you guys enjoyed this masterclass, this podcast on how to be charismatic. Jello family, please like, comment, and subscribe to the Angelo Carlos Talks YouTube channel, podcast. We are growing so fast, and we're at 176 subscribers. I'm super excited. I appreciate you guys from the bottom of my heart. You liking, commenting, subscribing helps get this message, helps me build this amazing podcast so we can make the world a better place. Take a look at my YouTube down below. My YouTube has Angelo Carlos, my other YouTube. It is basically my tech channel. I talk a lot of Tesla and technology. One of the cooler kind of YouTube channels in my opinion. And it's been growing a lot. We're finally monetized on that. I really want to get this channel monetized too. So please like, comment, and subscribe. And you guys have been amazing. Take a look at my Instagram down below. If you want to follow me on Instagram, I post like a lot of my day, and other great advice there. Also, please take a look at all the affiliate links that below on my camera equipment, what I use to grow this business. All these affiliate links give me a commission though, so please know that I do get kind of a commission from that. Please know I really appreciate the love, the support. It means a ton, Jello family, and I will continue to make content to help you guys become the best version of yourself. My name is Angelo Carlos. I am a UCLA MBA, Google manager. I've worked at Meta, I've worked at Airbnb, all these tech companies. And everything I teach on this channel is just everything I've learned. So thank you so much, Jello family. I hope you have an amazing day. I'll see you on the next podcast. Peace.